Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and in this one I am again playing with some of my new release from Funky Fossil called True Colours. I'm going to start this journal page off with a piece of collage paper on the background. So the pad of papers that comes with this collection is full of the boldest, brightest papers, lots of them with rainbow colours and some of them with a little bit of white space on as well. White space isn't my natural habitat, as you know. I like lots of colour. But I thought, there are those of you out there who do like a bit of white space. So, yeah, I tried really hard. So I've stuck that into my journal, and then I decided I would just use this quite graphic stencil and with a bit of white paint. You can't really see it, but it is kind of there in the background. Then I'm using this stencil to add some colour through, and on the colours, the parts of the stencil that are visible, I'm going to add red, yellow and blue, although you can see a bit further on I do make a mistake and add green, but I wiped it away and then went in with blue, and that's okay, it still worked. And then once I lift the stencil away, I then paint in between to add the colours that are missing. So you can see that this stencil will work. You can use it as it is, or you can kind of fill in the gaps and add any other colours you want to. So they're just adding the blue over the green that was in the wrong place, and then just going in and adding the orange, green into the spaces, orange and green into the spaces that are left. So it creates that kind of full rainbow idea. So then this is the other part of the layering stencil. This is the part with the patterns on, and here I'm just going in with raspberry, and I'm just going to pop some raspberry through those circles, and then I think I use mustard for the little hearts. So these are some of Dina's brand new colours. And then for the lines on the central part, I think I use malachite over the top of turquoise that's already down there. So it's just bringing a little bit of subtle difference with the colours that are on there, but it's not really obvious, so it's kind of sticking with that rainbow theme. And then that means that later on I can pull those details out by doodling around them. So then on the other stamp set there is this really cool little detail that you can use for the edge of journal pages. It's got all these lovely little layered rainbows, and here I'm so sorry it's off camera a little bit. I'm just kind of making it so that I can sit two parts next to each other. I'm just going to wipe off the excess ink that I don't need there. Then I can extend it, because what I want to do is create a little kind of platform of rainbows that I can add at the bottom of my page. So here I'm using the Tim Holtz watercolour distress pencils to just bring some colour to those rainbows. Yeah, just working my way through and filling them all in as far as I can. And then once I've done that, I didn't water activate them, I just left the colours as they were, I think. Then cut it out and it gets stuck at the bottom of my page. Okay, so now that's in place, just making sure it's all stuck down properly. Then I could start to think about adding some details to my rainbow and just kind of making that a bit more of the focal point of my journal page. So I'm just using a black gel pen and I'm just loosely going around and outlining each of those lines on the rainbow, giving them a couple of lines as well. I like to do that, it gives it that kind of loose sketchy look. Yeah, and just following the pattern round. And then I'm starting to outline some of those layered stencil details that I popped through using the other colours, just to make those stand out a bit more. And I'm just using the same pen to do that. So this isn't a waterproof pen, it is a Pilot G-Tech C4. I knew there wasn't going to be any more wet media going on my page, so this pen would work perfectly. And I love how fine the nib is on this pen as well. It makes it really easy to add little details like this. So yeah, I just continued till I'd got all of the little parts outlined. And then started to think about bringing some other colours into play as well on the rainbow. So I'm using tone on tone because I don't want the rainbow to be too gaudy. Surprise! I know that's probably quite surprising, but yeah, so because there were no patterns on the orange or green, I'm just going in with orange and green Posca pens and adding some more details. Then I decided I wanted to bring a bit of white to the rainbow, so using my extra chunky Posca pen, just bringing some dots onto there as well. And then this is the graphic stencil, so I'm just going to pull that around the edge of my rainbow. Going in with this after gives the look of the fact that it was there before, but it wasn't, obviously, because you've just seen me do it. So, you know, that's a trick that you can use, is you can add your background stenciling in after you've finished your focal point if you want to. Then I'm using the Stabilo All Pencil, just adding a bit of a shadow, a watery shadow line around my rainbow. That just helps pop it back out into the foreground. A little bit of dotty stamping, of course. What would be going on if I didn't do dotty stamping? I don't quite know. Something would be amiss, wouldn't it? And then I decided I wanted to put the sentence, and I think it just says use all the colours, and it's just one sentence, so I was able to kind of bend it a little bit so that I could stamp the words so they would go around the top of the rainbow, and then that meant that that would sit nicely at the top of my page. And then the other thing that I'm really obsessed with doing at the minute is adding these white dots when I've finished. And that's it. So here's my next offering, bit of inspiration with my new release, which you can still get some of it on my website, so you can pre-order. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon.